How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Emnix Plays Path of Exile Solo Southbound Hardcore. We're still in Hardcore. From what I've been gathering, a lot of people stopped playing because they've been dying to bullshit, and I sort of understand, and now I'm starting to become extremely afraid of Metamorphs. You know, a lot of times I don't even want to run these Metamorphs, but obviously you need to do it in order to do the Awakener fight and fight the Conquerors. And actually, no, you don't. No, you don't, but you need it for Catalysts, I believe. Either way, you probably need to fight the Metamorphs so you can get those juiced up pieces. Which is fine. I actually really do like the League. It's just that, and a lot of times the deaths aren't even because of Metamorphs. It's because of, like, well, it's a consequence of Metamorphs being around. You know, like as an example, potentially you create a Metamorph and they have way too much HP. And then, as a result, you know, they get corpse exploded and then you die. Something like that. Apparently, that's how a lot of people have been dying, and those are the things that make me concerned. These things, apparently, people have been dying from that as well. So I'm gonna make. Wait, did someone just die again? So I'm gonna make an effort to not die to. Or not create Metamorphs in this area at the very least, because those projectiles they throw seem very very scary. How come everybody knows when random people on the ladder die, but it's not giving me that message? Like, I would like to see that too. Am I missing something? UI? It is showing global chat. Maybe only certain players get it. I don't know. What's the ladder looking like anyways? Wow, people are getting way up there on the ladder, aren't they? From what I gather, like the top 5,000 players or whatever, they're all very high level. They're at least in the 80s. So I would like to at least get on the ladder. Like, I tried to look myself up. I'm like, oh, I can't because my level is so low. Finally, I have a day. It's currently 2 p.m., not 2 a.m. I finally have a day where I can just focus on leveling and playing. And as long as we don't die, you know, as long as we don't fail epically, we're gonna have a good time. So now I know I said I don't want to make a Metamorph, but now I'm a little curious. Yeah, Soul Seeker. That's the one that kills you, right? No, Soul Barrage. That's the one that kills you. Okay, let's do cards. Eruption, and then we'll just do a bunch of whites. We won't choose this up. You know, Undead. I might as well get them to drop rare armor, some Soul Bombardment, and then Lunging Strike. Yeah, that's the thing that kills you. These explosions. So I'm gonna go ahead and run away for a bit. Yeah, that thing! Wouldn't be the first time I've seen someone die to it. Oh, a stacked deck. That's an interesting one, especially in hardcore, right? Like, who knows what you would get. That's actually really good. I mean, if we can get 6 of those, I would really like that. 6-link Astral Plate, Celestial Justicar. That actually looks like pretty good RNG to me. Now, obviously, the real issue is, like, how in the world are you gonna get 5 more of those cards? But hey, If we can get lucky once, maybe we can get lucky 5 more times eventually. I mean, by the end, once you have this full set, probably your luck catches up to you, but whatever. Okay. I kind of leveled all the way to, or I ran to Mudflats because I wanted to farm it and have the off chance of getting, I forget what's the card called, but basically it gives you a calms item. I'm like, hey man, I have, you know, I had time to just randomly farm, but not actually time to record, you know, go on a full-on streaming session, just like 20 minutes here while I'm eating lunch, or, you know, I'm watching a show on the side, which by the way, you shouldn't do while playing hardcore. I don't think that's a good idea at all, but I did it anyways. I would watch a show on the side and then farm Mudflats. I didn't even do the Metamorphs. All I wanted to do was just farm cards. So I was trying to be extremely safe while doing it. You know, I just needed something to do. And I was hoping, you know, if I'm gonna farm anyways, maybe I'll try and get some cards or whatever. So I have progressed a little bit, but not enough for it to actually matter. So let's do all the side quests. Tidal Island. Starting from Act 6 onwards, I'm actually a little more fuzzy about the progression, because I've done, you know, Act 1 to 4 so many times. So Act 1 to 10, I still feel unfamiliar with it. I know I shouldn't be, because technically Fall of Oriath came out like 2 years ago, right? I mean, it's been a while. But yeah, it still feels relatively fresh to me. I would say I probably only leveled through the entire thing maybe like 10 times. Which is a lot, but not significant enough where I feel like I have every single layout, every single quest just memorized. My brain doesn't work like that. I need a lot more repetition to get things done. So, lunging strike, additional rare jewelry, or drops an itemized prophecy. I feel like that would be much more, like, a lot cooler. But there's also many more pieces, and this is a small zone. So why don't we try and farm a couple Metamorphs here? And by that I mean a couple samples. I don't actually want to farm in this area. I feel like we should be working on progression today. I guess that's it here. Okay, let's call it Metamorph. Yeah, that's fine. I've been liking Ensnaring Arrow. It slows them down quite a bit. And also, you know, they take increased projectile damage, which is good. It's kind of like cursing, but not really. You will discover a tome upon slaying a monster in the Scepter of God, Palace map, Residence, or Villa map. I'm gonna run that prophecy, and the idea is I'm hoping eventually, you know, by the time we get to the end, we'll have multi-mod ready. That's one of those things I've never done, actually, now that I think about it. I've never actually fought the Pale Court, which also means I never got the multi-craft, ever. I never got a master, like back in the day before they did the master change, I've never gotten a master to level 8. Which is, that's like a big part of the game that you probably should experience, right? Because it opens up so many possibilities for crafting. But yeah, I never unlocked the multi-mod. Every time I needed multi-modding, I would just give it to a crafter or a friend or something. So maybe this league, I mean, we're in Solo Southbound, you can't do that anymore. Maybe I should make an effort of doing the Pale Council. I've never fought the Pale Council, even in Prophecy. So this is probably where we, you know, Once again, this is the league where you want to use everything the game offers you. Like everything that the game makes available to you, you should be trying to use those mechanics, I think. Just because, you know, you can't buy your way out of a situation. You can't use currency to trade. You're using it for crafting and for your own purposes. So there's a lot of mechanics that have been released throughout the years that are admittedly very good, but only in like niche situations, right? I would say bestiary would be one of them. You know, bestiary is actually really interesting because you get to get free uniques. You get to craft flasks in like a very deterministic way. And it's like the first time I used the flask crafting mod. Yesterday was probably the first time I used it. Because I just never... I never thought that saw the need, but because probably crafting flasks using bestiary is the most effective way. I just never remembered, right? Or I was too damn lazy to go to warp to another area to do it. But I would say it's like that's like a really cool mechanic that people should be using more often. Very underrated. So yeah, maybe in that sense, I should be doing more prophecies as well. Okay, Tuguhoma. Fire resistance is maxed. That's good. Leveled up. Do I want to take more damage or do I want to start looking at HP? I do want to get iron reflexes. I want to see how armor does this league, because I feel like evasion is not all that useful here. Okay, I'm pretty sure that searing or that fire thing lowers your fire resistance too, so I gotta be careful here. Okay, got the totems. Actually, I'm dealing with him very well. Yeah, he's dead. That was easy. That was very easy. I don't know why I was worried. That was very easy. I mean, it better be easy. I've been over leveled for a very long time. Okay, so now while stationary we gain physical damage reduction. You would think that's really good, but surprisingly enough, the majority of the time you really don't you really don't want to be stationary. You know? Like the best form of damage mitigation, and this is like a bit of a like it's kind of obvious, but the best form of mitigation is to just not get hit. I was trying to think of like the perfect Twitch meme or Twitch emoji to represent that situation, you know, just don't get hit. But I'm not woke like that. I haven't been on Twitch long enough to know what emoji that would be. Just don't get hit forehead. Is that right? Did I do it right? I feel like a boomer right now. And like all my friends, none of us really participate much in the Twitch community. My friends especially, me at least, I go and watch some streams and I, you know, stick around and chat. And there are some, there are many good streamers out there. And like, you know, a lot of small time streamers that, anyways, it's a large community is what I'm trying to say, I suppose. And I try to be active in it. But you know, obviously I don't have the time. But a lot of my friends, they don't watch Twitch. You know, they don't know any they don't know any streamers. I think last week someone was like, "Who's Zizarian?" Right? Who's the Zizarian guy? So yeah, and like obviously people on my chat and in comments are like, what do you mean you don't know who Zizarin is? But yeah, my friends, they don't watch Twitch. So every time we go like, you know, just don't get hit forehead, or you know you're about to die, you're like, oh, Monkass. Nobody knows what it means. Wait, did a 5-link just randomly drop for us? That's amazing. Streamer RNG. See, that's a pog right there. If I said pog, nobody would know. If I were in Discord right now and people were online and said pog, my buddies would be like, what's that? Okay. Okay, this is good. So we just got ourselves a lot more damage. There is a however in all this though. And the however is that now it's gonna cost more mana reservation. And that more mana reserved might not be that good. So let's see. Herald of Agony, Pierce, Vicious Projectiles, Damage on full life. Let's get green, 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 red, blue. Green, green, red, red, blue. Is that good? 2 reds. What would 2 reds give me? No, I think I need 3 greens at least. Come on. Come on. Come on! Okay, is there a better way to roll this? Oh, green, 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 blue would have worked too. Oh, there we go. Okay, good, good, good. So we want Herald of Agony, Pierce. Sure, Vicious Projectiles, Damage on full life. And then minion damage. Minion damage. Okay, so there's the 5-link. This armor isn't even freaking rolled. It's white. What are my resistances like? Can I add cold resist? Penetrates. I don't hear cold resistance. Oh, Emnix, why don't you quality up first, you dummy? Here we go. So 18 to 23. Okay. Okay, I can work with this. So then I'm assuming I'm gonna be using this for a while, so why don't we add some life to it as well? It's a very basic piece of armor, right? The only thing going for it is that it has 5-link. I mean, triple resistances, but that's probably the lowest tier resistance you can get. That's fine, I guess. I mean, we're still maxed. And if I switch this, yeah, you're still maxed. Okay, let's move on. We also want to use this helmet So let's add a little bit of life as well. Like, I don't mind spending currency, and I think if this were standard, I wouldn't have done this. But I'm doing this for my own survival. I'm spending money so that I can make more money. Life lesson right there. Oh, 4-socket, perfect. Here's a question. Does it even need to be linked? Molten shell, cast when damage taken, increase duration, and then something. What's that something? Molten shell. Increase duration. What's that last something? Do I need something? Did I even need a 4-link here? Okay, I have a free gem slot. I don't know what to use there.
Good day.
Something that would tank me up. Okay, if I don't know, I'll think about it. And I'll try to figure something out. Hey, I need to put something there. Like, what other defenses can I add? Enduring Cry? I don't like that much. Oh, okay. Well, before that, what stats do I need? Like, really bad. Int and Dex.
Composing that poem about you.
Int and Dex. Cast speed attributes? Thanks, but no thanks. Okay. Here's the next question. All right, we're like slowly moving through the rungs of the ladder, just trying to figure everything out. Do I have enough mana? Yeah, that's what I thought. I could do this, but then I lose my curse. Here's an idea. What in the world am I doing? Why am I trying to color this when I wanted to do that? Summon Golem. Curse on hit. Enfeeble. Is this dumb? It should be fine, right? Faster attacks. Like, really it needs really it needs minion life, I would think. Because that golem's probably gonna die a lot, but whatever, man. Okay. Okay. Apparently there's still people who want to talk. Who? Tarkler.
Farewell.
Okay, that's good. That gives me some more damage. Minions have more move speed, which means, you know, potentially the golem has more move speed to go around and curse. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but whatever. Alright, let's give this a try. Definitely, for the next couple levels, maybe I need to think about reducing the mana reservation. You know, just picking up a couple mana reservation nodes, because I do want to run something like Hatred, Generosity, but I also want the Herald of Agony to be well linked. So okay, well, it looks like things are going pretty well so far then. Damage is looking good. I got a 5 link now, so damage is looking even better actually. Survivability wise, I really want to pick up my next Ascendancy so I can get permanent Fortify. I feel like that's going to be a big boost in survivability. And then I want to look at potentially getting... Actually, you know what I really want? I want a rear guard quiver. Because that's going to give you like... I don't know, like 10% attack block, 10% spell block or something crazy like that, right? And in that sense, you can think of it as like 20% more effective HP. Is that a good way to look at it? It's a little bit more deterministic than that because it's kind of random, right? You know, 20% chance to block. Charge forward, spine shot, charge forward, lunge straight. This guy has only one gear. Forward. He can only go in one direction. He's like a... It's like a bull version of the Zoolander. Oh, yeah, he really does charge forward, huh? I'm getting a lot of remnants of corruptions this league. Mostly because of the Essence Metamorph. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. So this is gonna be a pretty big test, right? I gotta remember that there's a trial here, so I should be looking out for that as well. I believe the trial for this guy is somewhere around... I thought it was on a... No, it's right there, huh? Yeah, my golem is dying a lot. Ow. Okay, let's time this out properly. You don't really want to mess this up, I think, because I have limited flasks. Okay. Alright. That's pretty easy. Crafting recipe over here. Yeah, I really want that second Ascendancy. I think it's going to help a lot. Fortify is going to be a huge boost to defense. If I can somehow get block, I think that's going to be another layer, because I don't have that many layers of defense. The plan is to go Iron Reflexes, you know, Fortify, and like, I guess Taunt, but Taunt isn't that good anymore. Or like the Champion Ascendancy for Taunt. It gives you like 6% less damage taken, but that isn't additive anymore. It's multiplicative with Fortify. So instead of 6%, it's going to be something like, you know, 3%. I mean, 3% less damage taken is still a big deal. It's just not as good anymore. Okay.
I believe in traveling light.
What? Why am I holding so much garbage? Gotta play a little bit of Tetris here. Here we go. Okay, so this fight is gonna be a bit of a test, right? Because it's Brutus. And I'm going off the assumption that they buffed all the bosses. I don't know if they have, but I feel like that's a safe assumption based on what's been happening throughout the rest of this league. Let's go. For the most part, the second playthrough has most definitely gone a lot better than the first. You know what? That first death, like really, it humbled me. I'm getting text. Hold on. Oh. 1 second. I need to send a text back. Okay, sorry. My buddy just asked me for my address because he needed to renew his passport. So I'm assuming it's semi-urgent, so I sent it over. You know, there was one time he was supposed to go to a wedding. It was a destination wedding. And on the morning of the flight, it was to Mexico, I think. So he was going from Canada to Mexico. The morning of the flight to Mexico, pulls out his passport and realizes that it was expired. So I'm assuming if he's texting me, it's important. But to be honest, I don't know why people text me for passport referral. You know, like typically what they do is you need to provide 1 or 2 contacts when you're renewing your passport. And it's like, oh, do you know this person? How long have you known them for? What do they do? Where do they live? Blah, 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 right? What's their birthday? And I'm the worst person for that because I have the worst time remembering those kinds of details. Dates, holidays, vacation days. I'm bad at them, man. Like when I'm at work, they'd be like, just make sure you don't come into work on Monday, yeah? Or don't, you know? And I'm like, wait, why shouldn't I come into work on Monday? Am I fired? And it's like, no, man, it's Thanksgiving or it's Easter, it's Christmas or whatever, right? Like I'm the worst at remembering those things. And then birthdays are even worse. I only remember maybe like 3 birthdays. My own birthday, my wife's birthday, my parents' birthdays. And the only reason why I remember my parents' birthday is they're like 1 or 2 weeks apart. So you just gotta remember the one, and then the other one's kind of just, you know, it's already there. So I'm the worst at that, and I actually have a good story about it. A buddy, this was when I was in high school, I think. Or maybe, no. This was in university. And somebody listed me as one of their references for a passport renewal. Without telling me, first of all. Like, if you're gonna do that, you should probably tell them so they can be prepared. But I guess they assume, like, well, like, they might call, they might not. And honestly, you're just gonna ask about the birthday and where I live and, you know, where I go to school. Like, it's not even a problem for them. I'm assuming that's what they... Or, I'm guessing that's what they assumed. And I get the call. Like, hey. Hello, is this Mr., you know, Emnix? I'm like, hi, this is Emnix son.
My life and my work, I shall not suffer this humiliation again.
And they're like, well, we're calling on behalf of, you know, Kyle. Do you know Kyle? I'm like, yeah. I've known him for years, like over 10 years now. It's like, good. We just have a few questions, you know, for his passport renewal. We're hoping you could be his reference. I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. You go, okay, let's start with something easy. Do you know his birthday? I don't know, maybe August or April. I think it started with A. Like, that's how I remember this shit. And you're like, okay, well, that's fine if you can't remember. Do you we'll try a different question. Do you know where he lives? I'm like, yeah. They're like, do you know his address? Well, I know how to walk there. You know, like, as a kid, I just never bothered to actually memorize their address, right? Like, I don't know the number. I don't know the side street. I know, I'm like, oh, I walk down this major street, you know, and then you make a right, you make a left, and then you go to the one with the hedge and like a white car parked right next to it. You know, that's the house. And they're like, that's not gonna help at all. I'm like, I know, right? And then they asked me, do you know what he's in university for? Or do you know if he's currently in school? I'm like, yeah, he's in college. What is he studying? It's some businessy thing. And the lady just goes, you know what? Thank you very much for answering the call. You've been very helpful. It turns out that she immediately ended up calling another reference who got all the questions correct. Why do people still add me as their references? I don't know things, guys. Okay, I think I should pick up some of these reduced mana reserved nodes. So that's one thing where I'm like, you know, you can add me as a reference, but I gotta give you that like, you gotta warn me ahead of time so I can be prepared, right? Like, if you call me ahead of time, be like, hey, I'm gonna add you as a reference. Here's my address, here's my birthday, here's my whatever. I'm like, cool. You know, if anything happens, I can just sort of pull it up. But I suppose the whole point is they're supposed to know you well enough. They ask for somebody that you've known for like, I don't know, like at least 5 years or something like that. And I suppose depending on who you are, that's not easy to find. So yeah, I knew the guy for 10 years, but I'm just so bad at memorizing those details. Where do you live? What's your address? What's your birthday? Is that bad? I'm starting to think like, maybe that's bad. I'm just really bad at those facts. And like, there's something to be said about, I think one person mentioned, it's like the fact that you don't remember, it's not that you're bad at remembering, it's like it's not on your priority list of things to memorize. And like, that's a fair point, probably. It's just one of those things where I don't bother to memorize, and I bet if I tried harder, I would know it. This is like a pretty good ring that maybe I want to keep around. Anyways, I'll keep it in there anyways. And you know, sometimes I think about that. My wife, she, when I was first dating her, we were on the phone. I forgot what we were talking about, and somehow the conversation of birthdays came up, and she was like, "Do you know my birthday?" We were dating for like 2 years at that point, and I set a date, and I got it wrong. And she got super mad, for good reason, right? Like, you know, we've been dating for 2 years. Why do you not know my birthday? And a lot of that comes down to the fact that, like, I myself don't think birthdays are a big deal. You know, it's just you're 1 year older, 1 year closer to dying. I don't know, like, it's just not a big deal to me, but I know it's a big deal to other people. And to the people that I talk to a lot and care, or like to those that do care about their own birthdays, I try to memorize it. But I'm just, I have a hard time memorizing other people's birthday because I think there's a bit of projection there. I'm like, man, birthdays aren't, like for my birthday, I don't even bother celebrating it, you know? Sometimes I have friends, they're like, hey, it's my birthday, does anyone want to come out for dinner or something? Right? Nobody throws a party anymore, not really. And like, it's one of those things where I'm like, thank God for Facebook. Because Facebook will tell me when it's somebody's birthday. I blame Facebook now that I think about it. I used to remember more birthdays, but after Facebook came out, I'm like, there, I got my excuse down pat. Oh, I think there's a side area back there that I should look at. Prisoner's Gate. Yeah, the cloven one. Okay, let's not leave just yet. There was a certain point where I stopped remembering those things. Dates specifically, but I mean it doesn't come down to just dates, right? Because there's lots of stuff that I don't memorize. My brain capacity, it is only filled with Path of Exile, but even then it doesn't have that much capacity, you know. The RAM is overloaded. It's not CPU because I'm not actually thinking. It's just the RAM. Is it the RAM? It's RAM. Read access memory? Yeah. It's not being stored in the memory. And honestly, I bet if I tried harder, I could remember. I straight up just went on a 15-minute tangent on birthdays and not being able to remember numbers. I have a bad memory. Like long story short, I have a bad memory. Why did I keep going? I don't even know. I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad about it. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Sometimes I'm like, I feel like I do need to put more effort in that kind of stuff. But at this point, I'm like too scared to ask, you know? Like I've known some people for 15 years and I'm like, hey, I never bothered to memorize your birthday for like 10 years and now I kind of feel bad about it. So what's your birthday, dude? I know what, I'm gonna write it down and every day I'm gonna read my little sketch pad or little notebook or like have little post-it notes, you know, taped to my wall. Okay, this person's birthday is in March. Like a little cue card. Is that what I'm gonna do? Because to be honest, that's what it's gonna take. I don't know. Leap Slam, Leap Slam, Fire Blast, Fire Barrage, Lunging Strike, Caustic Blast. I believe anything with barrage is what kills you. I don't know what the little black orbs are, because I hear those are pretty bad too, the ones that explode. I know the Soul Barrage is that black, everything's black, so it's kind of hard to explain, but it's the one that looks like Carrion Devourers, is that what they're called? The ones that eat corpses and shoot it at you? Kind of looks like that. I don't know what damage it does, but it has killed countless hardcore characters at this point. Every time I go on Reddit, it's either that or it's corpse explosion. So it seems like there are 3 things that kill people. One is corpse explosion. Okay, there are 4 things that kill people. One is corpse explosion. One is that soul barrage thingy, whatever it is. One is the black balls on the floor. I don't think those are corpse explosions. I think that's actually a little different. And then one is the Awakener. which I guess should be killing you, but I hear the fight is pretty BS as well. So 3 of those 4 things I feel like I could somewhat avoid if I'm careful. The 4th thing you can't really avoid and you're just gonna have to take it to the face. Well, or try to avoid damage. I guess you can avoid it on a very technical basis. You know, just avoid taking the damage, which is the Awakener. But you can't avoid the fight because the whole point is to fight them. So eventually you're gonna have to look death in the eye. You look him in the eye and you say, not today. I don't know, man. I'm talking this entire time thinking like as if I'm gonna get to the Awakener fight. But I'm starting to think I'm probably gonna be happy if I can just make it to the end of, you know, the storyline. Make it into maps. I feel like things got a little rough right around Act 4. That's when I died last time, right? And then it got better. Why is there a crafting recipe there? Is there like some kind of boss here? Am I missing something? And then it got better. So for a while I was like, man, I'm gonna die. Now I'm like, I think I'm gonna survive for a few acts, but I don't think that's the right attitude to have. I think you gotta be just extra cautious at all times. Heavy charge versus crushing strikes. Well, I prefer charges and blocks attacks versus powerful crits, I think. Let's go with that. You know, at first when I was playing this build, I'm like, man, this build is gonna have some issues in the late game. Or in clearing, I guess. But I think I've gotten used to it. The clear doesn't feel that bad. Blood Bond. Minions have more life. They regenerate life. They have 7% chance to dodge attack hits. And you get... oh, level 15 Bone Offering. Bone Offering. What did Bone Offering do again? Wait, Blood Offering. Not Bone Offering. Blood Offering. It heals you, right? For every corpse you consume? That's an interesting one. Potentially you could use it as like a... if you can cast Bone Offering fast enough, especially if you can do it on a automated way, you could potentially be like unkillable. But I'm sure if that were the case, a lot more people would be playing it, right? What was Blood Offering again? I honestly can't remember for the life of me. And I'm pretty sure I played Blood Offering last league. I must have used it. Anyways, no big deal. There's the waypoint. And then, so we're gonna go back to town, sell our stuff. Go north. We're gonna try and unlock more gods. Passive point, that's good. Got a bunch of random uniques at this point. I don't know if any of it is actually good. This is a very good leveling quiver. Like, requires level 10, gives you lots of damage, attack speed, life gain on hit. So if we ever die, we can always go switch to a pure bow build, but obviously Or maybe not obviously. I feel like it's obviously. Like, do bow builds even work in the late game, especially in maps, if you don't have the defenses? Like, my knee-jerk reaction is that no, of course it wouldn't work. But then I think there are plenty of bow builds in hardcore solo self-found right now that are doing just fine, right? Or like semi-bow builds. I'm assuming they're playing as something like champion. Bow champion for the fortify or another form of defense. You can't just go Deadeye straight up, right? Soon, hey Lestat, how's it going, man? What time is it over there? There are no hunter builds? Okay, that's what I figured. $21:20. 9 o'clock, eh? 6 hours. You're out in Europe, is that correct? Which part of Europe are you in? Are you at? Are you in one of the Scandinavian countries? I can't remember. I think I asked you this before. Belgium. Ah. Here's what's Belgium known for actually? My wife and I were actually planning a summer trip to Europe. Well, we have a spring trip. We have a spring trip to Portugal. Doing a week in Portugal. I think we're doing Porto, Lisbon, something like that. She planned most of it. And then we're also planning a summer trip to the UK. It's like one week in UK, probably just England, like London and like maybe one more city. And then she wants to hit up another country. And she has it down to Germany, Belgium, or what was the last one? I think she was saying Amsterdam. So really, you know, like Netherlands or something. But we haven't really decided which one. Chocolate, Brussels waffles, very important beer, fries. So it's not French, it is Belgian. Belgian fries. Ah, okay. Sounds like a food trip. I like that. So anyways, I don't know which way to sway my wife because I don't know which one to pick either. If you had to pick one of those, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, you know, any of those basically nearby. We've been to France, we've been to Italy. We're gonna fly out of UK and go somewhere for another week. Antwerp is known for diamonds? Okay. I'm not gonna tell my wife that. I'm like trying to figure out where I want to go. And my wife was like, can you do some research? I'm like, yeah, I'll do some research through my viewers.
To the will of its true children. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Reduce fire damage taken while moving. I'll stick with Tukohama, I think.
Good day.
Man, when I go on a vacation, all I think about is it's basically a food trip, like every single time. You know, I like seeing the history, I like going to museums, but at the end of the day, I would say like more than 50% of my planning is spent around food. I'm like, oh, what's the local stuff? Let's try some stuff. Ant in Antwerp with Anton van Dyck, Bruegel, old buildings in Antwerp and Bruges, Middle Ages. Okay. That actually sounds really fun. I like that stuff. Parasitic Slam, Volatile Mark. What is that? Charge forward, lunging strike, toxic growths. Okay, let's go with that. Parasitic growths. Okay, so I'm assuming I'm gonna stay away from that garbage. Oh, and for K, there's a huge shopping lane in Antwerp called where? Okay, let me look this up. Antwerp. So is Antwerp a better place to go versus like Brussels? Or is it just you're more familiar with Antwerp?
Hello.
Farewell.
98 to life. Whoa.
Farewell.
Double T2 life rolls. That could be good. But then I lose fire resistance. But this thing only has one suffix, so technically... Brussels has nothing if you ask me, but I like the old buildings. Okay, so Brussels is just basically a bunch of old buildings. Okay, good to know. Okay, add fire resistance. Good. Resistances are still looking just fine. Life, 2461. I'm assuming a lot better. I mean, 98 life versus 45. Don't lose any stats. No, I meant Antwerp and other cities like Bruges and Leuven have lots of old buildings. That's why I prefer them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like old buildings too, actually.
Hello.
All right, I will keep all of that in mind.
Will find you.
And I'll offer that as an option. I mean, it wasn't one of our options before, so this is good actually. And by not being an option, I mean it's not something that we thought of. Okay, a little bit more mana reservation reduced. Okay. The Leuven is not really old because they all got destroyed in World War II except the church has been rebuilt in original state. Yeah, but that's fine. We went to so we went to Korea over the summer. And wait, was it Korea or Japan? It was Korea. And a lot of the buildings in Korea were just like really damaged because of World War II, as well as the Korean War, and so on and so forth. And not only that, I guess based on the history of the way they built, like they built everything out of wood, and I guess that's just basically Asian architecture. And those palaces, they would burn down like every 2 years, right? So, I mean, I'm used to seeing a lot of old palaces because I visited China a lot. But when I went to Korea, some of those old palaces have been burned down and rebuilt so many times, they can't even be considered old buildings anymore, you know? Which I thought was hilarious. Like one of the palaces, like this is the main palace for the previous, or the most recent emperor of Korea. I don't know when that was, right? But it's like the latest palace. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be so much history, it's gonna be so cool. The palace had a driveway. I'm like, okay, hold up right there. Why does this thing have a driveway? It's like the dude really liked his cars, and I guess he just built another driveway. Like after it burnt down, he's like, you know what? Fuck it, add a driveway. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, you know, my immersion, it's affecting it. It's like adding razor footprints into an ARPG. Who does that, you know? Kappa. Arrow Nova, lunging strike, heavy charge, chief and throw, bistro cleave. Okay, this is good. I do not want to sit on the black stuff because I don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, I just don't want to touch it. So yeah, I really like, you know, seeing old buildings and stuff. Sometimes I expect old buildings and I get something entirely different, which is basically what happened to me while I was in Korea. I thought it was really odd, but I took a lot of pictures. I'm like, look at this place. It's driveways and like a, you know, like a 500-year-old palace. Visit Antwerp. Nice. Market. Cathedrals. Historic center. This is cool. Let me know when you're here. You know what? Yeah, I'll let you guys know when I'm... Depending on where we go, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, thank you, Lestat. I'm gonna bookmark this actually, real quick. Cool, then I can go to your house and rob the place safely. You're gonna be sorely disappointed. There won't be much stuff. Bookmark. Travel. Alright, perfect. Oh, a new PC? That is true, a new PC, but be careful, you know? That new PC got me killed just 2 days ago, so who knows? Maybe it's like bad luck or something. Dude, I took forever building out the new PC. I ordered it like 3 weeks ago, and the parts didn't ship in until this weekend, until Saturday. The freaking motherboard it got delivered to the wrong site. Like, I get it. Black Friday, things are all kinds of messed up, right? Like, everyone's busy, mistakes happen, and there are so many orders, it's a lot more likely that something gets messed up. So, unfortunately, I was the sad victim who got like a fucked up order, and it got delivered to the wrong site, and on the way to the site, I don't know what happened. I guess it got damaged there. So from the delivery site, they sent it back to Amazon because it was damaged. And by the time it got back to Amazon and I found out about it, the motherboard was out of stock. So then I had to order a new one, but because it was Black Friday, pretty much everybody was looking at new computers and motherboards. So like all the decent motherboards were sold out, which is just insane to me, right? And instead of, you know, paying, I'm that dude who like refuses to pay regular price. I see sale, I'm like, I want the one that's on sale. And maybe that's a bad thing. Anyway, so I was like, I'm like, dude, these are like pretty much the same thing, and one's going for 100 and one's going for 160, right? And the one on sale is really just 160 on sale for 100. So I'm like, I'm just gonna order one on sale, but everything was out of stock. So I had to wait until basically 3 weeks later until I got my new motherboard. So I was hoping to get the PC ready by the time the leak started, but instead what happened was I got the motherboard the day after the league started. I got it on Saturday. And I had to spend the entire day building a PC because what am I gonna do? Play the league for like a month straight while all these computer parts just sit there in my living room? Like, I can't do that, right? So I missed out on so much of the league. And then I finally, at 11 p.m., I'm dead tired. I get my PC set up. I play Path of Exile. I log in for like 20 minutes. And I die. Like, this thing, that Saturday was cursed, man. It was just so extremely cursed. But, I mean, maybe it was a gift in disguise, because now my character is looking pretty good. I might be jinxing it, but whatever. And
I believe in traveling
like, the leveling has been very smooth. I haven't been taking too much damage. I haven't been all that close to dying. Maybe that's a consequence of dying the first time. Like, I'm playing more cautiously now, although I don't feel like it. But yeah, you know, going steady. Slow and steady. And this fits my playstyle very nicely. Drops additional map fragments, rare armor, rare jewelry, currency items. I just can't say no to currency. How could you say no to currency? Just more currency. Give me. Currency or map fragments? Is that even a question? Currency. Look at that. Chaos Orb, Alk Orb. That's pretty good.
I believe in traveling light.
Why the hell do I have a sanctified mana flask here? What is going on? When did this happen? What? I am farming Solaris Temple for double ribbon boss there now? For Metamorphs? Yeah. Dude. The Metamorphs are pretty scary though, so depending on where you farm them, you know, like, just be careful. Wait, what level are you? 37? Okay, yeah, you're doing fine. Why do I have a random mana flask there? Dude, at least... Emnix, what are you doing? At least roll it or something? Like, what the hell? Sure. I put Plague Bearer on and it melts before it can do something, so it's pretty safe. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. You're playing an assassin. I see. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I'm starting everything's really tanky. So normally, at least over the past 2 leagues, the way I've been playing is, it's the ignore league mechanic build, which is like do more damage than they can react to. So before they even get a chance to do anything, you just like blow them up. But that hasn't been working this league. One, because they didn't pick a build that does that insane amount of damage, right? Because it kind of requires gear. And 2, because the Metamorphs, if you juice them up enough, they have like 500% increased life, which is just insane. Leveling with Kobalash, but gonna try Blade Vortex with Poison. Oh, that's a good build. I used to make fun of Blade Vortex, because I'm like, oh, it's so meta. You know, who would want to just play, you know, hit a bunch of buttons and run through stuff? But after playing it, I'm like, dude, it's a really fun build. I definitely have like a soft spot for Blade Vortex. I haven't tried Poison Blade Vortex. I've done the Elemental version. But yeah, good luck with that, man. That's gonna be a fun one. Oh, meta builds. Everybody's a meta slave. Turns out I'm the meta slave now. Although, I don't know what's meta this league. What's meta? Is this still summoners? Based off of Reddit, I'm gonna assume it's summoners because everyone's complaining like, oh, my summoner can't kill the Awakener because I don't know if they're running into black holes or something. I haven't been paying too much attention to what's happening. I hear that the race actually right now, there's actually a lot that still needs to be done. I thought that by now the Awakener would be dead, the event would be over, and people are just fighting to like get as many Awakener kill tickets as they can. But has the Shaper even been killed? Like, I hear Rise is pretty close, or potentially he could have done it by now, but like Uber Elder hasn't been done. Like, a lot of stuff hasn't been done yet. Guessing Poison is good against bosses, only survivability is tough. Yeah, things are hitting hard, dude. Like, I'm trying to think of more ways to stack on defense. I don't have Leech. And I don't even think I have that much regen, so I'm starting to get a little concerned. Hopefully, you know, over time it gets better. Minions have block. Minions have block, but this is 19% to all elemental resistances and 63 to life. What's this? 22 to life and 25 and 29 to resistances. Dude, this is pretty good. If that's the case. Okay, maybe I'll use Skullhead for a bit. Okay, so I picked that up. I could go down here and grab more life. I could go down here and grab the fortified nodes, but I don't have fortified yet, so what's the point? So I guess that means we're gonna go down here. The thing that takes a long time is that it is only Awakener kills with full upgraded Atlas that counts. That's gonna take a long time, I'm sure of it. I wasn't sure before. I was like, man, all these hardcore players, they're really good. Like, you know, all the guys that are racing, all these streamers, they're really good, man. I don't know if it's a case of like they've been playing a lot. I don't think that's true. Like, even if you play a lot, if you die, you're dead, right? So they've been playing safely, while at the same time, you know, just progressing so far. So, I thought that they would finish it in no time, right? Like in standard, somebody already has level 100, not standard, in softcore. So I was like, yeah, it's gonna be easy peasy, but apparently that's not the case. Which is a good thing, I think. You know, everybody's struggling with it, so it's just even more of a reach goal for someone like me, but I think I would have gotten a little bit demoralized if I knew it was done already, because I'd be like, man, am I really just that bad? Level 96 in solo self-found hardcore, yeah. 97 died, so I think level 96 is highest now. So they've gotten a lot of levels and yet no Awakener kills. So it's gonna, you gotta juice them up fully. I guess that takes a while. But like every couple hours someone dies. So clearly, you know, there's something going on in the higher levels. Like every hour, somebody in like the top 500 is dying. In the top 100 even. Like Nugi died like 2 hours ago, I think. Oh, this is really cool. Check out Rain of Arrows in the sand. I didn't notice this. Look how it makes like little dents in the sand. Maybe that was always there. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was always there. It was just more noticeable in the sand. Okay, going through this, not quickly, definitely not quickly, but relatively smoothly. Yeah, the arrows are supposed to stick off of walls and bounce and stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't have a good example. Like there's no wall here, but yeah, it's cool. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee before we move on. Oh, I needed that. Okay. So I want the Cruel Ascendancy. It's not for another 2 acts, I think. Only annoying with Burning Arrow, it sticks in a mob and burns, but the mob is not ignited. That is That's really funny. I bet that's an interaction that GGG never really tested. Someone has been posting an image on Reddit these days, and it's like, the code for a bar. No, a programmer is told to test a bar. He orders 1 drinks. He orders 99999 drinks. He orders -1 drinks. He orders AAAAA drinks. And then it goes into production. The first guy that enters the bar asks where the closest washroom is, and the bar explodes. You know, like there's a lot of stuff that you think you can test, but there's just like so many different ways the game would interact. Like nobody would think, oh, you know, people are gonna see the burning arrow stick into a body and think that the guy is ignited. Like the only thing they test over there probably is like, does it stick? It's stuck. Okay, we're good to go. I see those crabs over there. You can literally mouse over them, and now I want to kill them. How can I... Can I dash over there? What is this? Oh, I can't kill them. Look, they're so tiny. They're like ants. Wait, why are these bubbles? Whoa, look at this. Dude. Rip, 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 rip. F, 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 F. Who died? Rank 26? How come I'm not getting those notifications anymore? I want the notifications. I was just talking about everyone's dying every couple of minutes. There you go, another person. Like every hour. Maybe not every couple of minutes, but every hour, like someone's dying, man. Number 26 on the ladder died. Wanna bet he died to like one of the 4 things I listed earlier? Like detonate dead, or some kind of weird soul barrage, or those weird black balls. It's always one of those things, man.
I believe in traveling light.
Okay, I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna look at upgrading my helmet.
Good day.
This is one of those cases where like low-level uniques actually have a use. Like this is gonna be pretty good, I think. Okay. So 19 to all resistances. Resistances looking good. Life is looking good. We're basically at 2600 HP. Some armor, some evasion. Like that's sure, whatever.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. We're almost at the boss. I am excited. We're gonna go through another act. Hopefully. Hopefully I'll be able to get like to Act 9, Act 10 by the end of the day. But honestly, I just want to make it to the next act. That's all I'm thinking about. I think if I look too far into the future, I'm gonna start becoming extremely disappointed when I find out that I'm dead. So let's just try and make it into Act 7? Into Act 7. And then go from there. How come I'm not getting those yellow global messages anymore? Did I accidentally turn them off or something? Like, I don't see when anybody dies. No, everything's turned on. You don't get them either? Okay, so maybe that's just too many people in chat or something like that. Maybe only beginning of the league. Well, like if someone in the top 10 dies, I think that would show up. I always thought that like the lower rankings would show up too. Like how do people know that, you know, rank 26 or whatever is dying? How do people know? There's no way they're like watching the stream, and on most of the casts are only showing like, you know, the top 4 racers or whatever. Weird. Oh, they have the ladder open. Really? Keeping the ladder open just to find out when someone, you know... I guess that's entertaining in a way, when someone dies. Just so that you can say F. He died! He died! Rip! Rip, rip! He died! Alright. I guess it's entertaining. You know what? I would be entertained by that too. To know who died and who didn't. Or who's still alive.
You're a gift, don't you see? A sumptuous feast for His Majesty on his wedding day. Really, we are both so touched by your generosity.
I thought there was a way to skip like their long... like phases now. Maybe it's only for Shaper actually. I remember when I didn't know how to fight this and I would get killed by his cold stuff all the time. Now it's like I'm pretty good at dodging his stuff. Or I think I've gotten pretty good at it. You know, like if you see the effects on the ground, you just walk away from it. And then hopefully you have enough defenses for everything else. Do I actually have a lot of regen? 154 life regen per second? I don't think that's a lot. But why do I feel so freaking tanky? I don't have Fortify yet. Awesome.
Born of ocean's mire, and death washed
Rip.
clean of dark.
How did you? Hold on to your coat.
Act 7. We did it, boys.
Judging by that.
That went pretty well.
Keep your witcher.
Go with the spirit.
Act 7 is the spider, right? Should we start looking at chaos resistances? I don't know if I have to bother or something like that, but I mean, I did get chaos resistance from here. Is there any chaos resistance on the tree? No, you would have to get it on gear, huh? Okay, that's not easy. Alright, that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more updates in the future. Otherwise, keep in touch, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.